Hey everybody. So by now we know that we are not going back to school, which is maybe some of you are celebrating, some of you are maybe hiding your tears a little bit, but it is what it is. There's nothing we can really do about it now. I will say that I am a little sad by this. I really feel like this online school is kind of giving me a new perspective on teaching and a much more appreciation for the relationship that I have with you guys. And if there's one thing that I've learned through this whole quarantine is how important it is to have those connections. So personally, I have struggled with being stuck inside and doing kind of the same thing every single day for a while, and I'm not gonna lie, I've called my mom a lot. But I think it's really important that you have those people in your life that you talk to, whether it's your friends, your family, even teachers, whoever it may be. It's just really important to have those people in your life. That way you can get out those feelings that I know are bottled up inside of you, because I have them definitely bottling up inside of me. So I encourage you to reach out to those people when you need it. And I will happily be that person if you don't have anyone else, or if you just miss my face, you know, because I miss yours. And one thing that, after talking with several teachers, that I keep hearing is how, oh, I miss my kids. And when teachers say that, I want you guys to know that it's truly genuine, because we do love you and you guys are like our other family. And I know that for me especially, I am really saddened by the fact that I can't come and interact with you guys and coach you and do those things for the rest of the school year. So whenever we say that we miss you, it's absolutely 100% true. So again, I hope you guys are doing well in this quarantine and you continue to be safe and healthy, but please know that I do love you and I do miss you, and I'm really sad that I won't get to see your face until August. So have a good week and reach out if you need anything. All right, last week we talked about identifying the slope and the y-intercept in slope-intercept form. Today we're actually going to be graphing in slope-intercept form. Unfortunately, I could not figure out a way to get a good graph put on, so I'll work on that this week. So for today, for the assignments this week, just make your own graphs like I did here, and we'll just work with that, and I will come up with a better way to graph stuff, hopefully by the end of this week. That way we can graph the rest of our unit. But for today, just make your own graphs, and that's fine. So I wrote the steps down for graphing in slope-intercept form. So the first thing that we're gonna do is determine the slope and the y-intercept, which is exactly what you guys did last week. Then your second step is going to be graphing that y-intercept. And if you remember, that is actually on your y-axis. So I wrote that for you. And then count the slope from that point, from that y-intercept point. So this is number 1 and number 2 on your assignment, which I think that's really all it will take for you guys to get this. This is pretty straightforward. So if you remember, m is the number in front of x, and I'll rewrite this slope-intercept form for you. There it is. So mx plus b. M still stands for the slope. So in this case, our slope is -1/5. And our b value is +3. But if you remember, I had you write that as a point, which was 0, 3. So 0, 3, you start at 0, and then we go up 3. Oh, I did not mean to make a point there. So ignore that point. So this is the point we want to focus on. Just gonna pretend this point never happened. That way I don't confuse anybody. There we go. Okay, and I just made my graphs just 8 lines each way. That should be plenty of space for you. So here is 0, 3, and I know that my slope is -1, 5. So that means I rise -1, which really means I go down. So that means I go down 1 and a +5. So I go down 1, right 5, because 1 is negative, 5 is positive. So down 1 and then right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my other point is right here. And then I'm just going to connect those two. And again, I realize you guys are graphing these on your own graphs, so they might be a little bit messy. Just do the best you can. If you do have a better solution, I am all for it. But again, I'm totally good with you guys just graphing by your own graphs. That's totally fine. Okay, so let's do number 2. So again, I'm going to identify the slope and the y-intercept. So my slope is the number in front of x, but this one doesn't have 1. So that number is just 1. But what do I put it over since it's not a fraction? Hopefully you're saying 1 in your mind. We always put the number over 1 if it's not already a fraction. So our slope here is +1 over 1, so 1 over 1. And our y-intercept is -1, which means 0, -1. So I start at 0 and I go down 1. So there is my y-intercept. And again, that y-intercept is always going to be on that y-axis. From there, I'm going to count my slope, which means I go +1, so I go up 1, and then I go over +1. So up 1, over 1. And there's my line. So that is graphing the slope-intercept form. Again, feel free to just make your own graphs and do the best you can with that. If you have further questions, we can schedule a Zoom meeting, but otherwise just email me and I will happily answer your questions. But that is it, so good luck.